Welcome back to PyBites YouTube. This is Bob, and today a quick video about our new API, codeimage.es, a wrapper we built on top of carbon.now.sh, which is a service to create beautiful images, code images we use in our social media posting every day. Enjoy. As you probably know, we love carbon.now.sh because they let you make beautiful code images you can share on social media or wherever you want. And actually the default is not like this. This is probably some caching issues. So if I just open an incognito browser, it actually looks like this when you land on the site. So we already had a tool to make those carbon images from the command line. And maybe you should stop the video and just check this out if you want to work from the command line, because it will download the carbon image locally to a folder of your choosing, and that might be all you need. But we wanted to take it one step further and actually build an API where you can post your tip, so a title, a tip, and a code snippet to, and then persist the code in a database. Advantage: as a content creator, you can now easily see what you have posted. The code is searchable. You can download the images to your local drive and you can copy the code, right? So if I click this copy icon, the actual code behind this image is now on my clipboard, which if I copy it into Vim, then that's what I got from the image, or from the database rather. So that's pretty cool. And to use it yourself, first you create an account. So this goes to, we're using FastAPI and SQL model, really two awesome libraries you should check out if you're doing web development. First, you make a user, which with the Swagger UI that comes with FastAPI is fairly easy. So you can just try this out. Pick a username. Pick an email, because it does require that you have a valid email, because it will send you a confirmation link. And it's just a test account. So I'm going to delete this after this video. And actually, I'm already using this email, and so let me put something else in there. And that should give you 201 with the test account created, password encrypted, and now I should have a confirmation email. When I click that, then the account will be activated. So here I retrieve the link from my email, and I get a response of account active true. At this point I have an active account and I can start posting to the API. To make this easier, I made this post snippet script. This you can just download to your local machine. So let's actually do this end to end. So you do need to make a virtual environment. I use this alias. So just download the script saved. It has two dependencies, so Python decouple and request. So I pip install those. I already have the exact command in a command here, so I can just copy that over, make sure that the virtual environment is enabled. And the next step is to set two config variables, code images user and code images password. Again, this is just a test account. I'm going to delete this. Now Python decouple, you can either export these variables like so, but then they won't persist necessarily. So if I open a new terminal later, they might be gone. So the best way to do is to create a .m file. That's how these libraries typically work. So Python decouple, python.env works the same. And I'll make this file, and I'm just going to set it to my user and password. And now with the dependencies installed and with the environment variables set, I should be able to run this script. It's an interactive script, so it will ask for the payload details in order. So what shall we post? Let me retrieve a tip. So I can give it a title. I can give it a code snippet. And you can end the multi-line input with QQ. That signals to the script that I'm done. And an optional description. Usually I populate this because that's then the literal text of my tweet. So I'm just going to copy what I have here in the tip. And actually I should have removed that colon, but I'm just going for this right now because this is only to show how it works. Now it's posting the tip to the API using my username and password. And upon success, I get this API response. So I get the payload just bounce back, and conveniently I get the URL where the image is actually stored. So the actual image is not stored in the database. We just stored a link to our S3 bucket. So I can click this, it will download to my desktop, and now I can use this image in my post, while the image is also stored in the database. So this is the tip I just posted: title, carbon image, description. Python is the default. I can actually give it other languages as well. So that would go into the payload, but for this one, this is Python only. But the image can also be for other languages. So if we go to the Swagger UI again, and we go to the create tip endpoint, we see that apart from title, code, and description, we can also pass it in the language, which then can also be JavaScript or C or Bash. We can change the background color of the image. So this is a type of gray, which is the default with Carbon. And that results in this color. So the background image surrounding the terminal can be tweaked, the color of that can be changed. And the theme by default is Sati, that can also be changed. So if you want to change that to other values, you can just add more key value pairs in this payload dictionary. But for me, this script is just for Python, so I just kept it simple with the default options. And again, you can also inspect those options here in Carbon. So if you want to first see how this would look, if you change this to Monokai, this is the style of font you would get. And these are the languages that are supported. Hence the wrapper script would also handle those. Which under the hood is how Carbon actually is implemented, right? So the API uses the Carbon command line tool we had, and here's the actual Carbon command line script that it's called under the hood, and those extra options come in here as keyword arguments. And then they're passed into the Carbon URL, and then Selenium downloads the image. So that's all happening, and that's what we all abstracted away by making an API. So pretty cool. I hope this is useful. So again, our aim is to make it easier to create those beautiful Carbon images for social media, and yeah, build up a nice collection of code snippets that you can search and download to your desktop. Hey, this is Bob again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know if you have any feedback on the API. Try it out. We hope to see more interesting code snippets be posted to the API. It can be Python, it can be anything. This is not a Python only tool, right? The goal is to get more beautiful code snippets in one place and to make them searchable. And yeah, hopefully this can be a tool that helps content creators to make it easier for them to post snippets on social media. I will do a follow-up video on more like the internals, how we built the API with Fast API and SQL Model. We already have videos on that, particularly SQL Model in conjunction with HTMX Infinite Scroll. I will link that video here, and I will see you right there. Thanks for watching.